gorilla, nature. Bro, let's go skate. Dude, E equals MC squared. Nerd for life.
Okay, let's get it. Okay. Hello, and welcome you guys. I am so excited. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Pastor Darius Knows Things. So today we're talking about, this is part 4. This is the fourth one that we're doing. We're doing the tribe of Levi, the priestly tribe. Ooh, I'm so excited. Let's hop straight into it without further ado. So, connection. The Lemba people of Zimbabwe and the people of South Africa. Wow. So, biblical speaking point is we're going to start off at Numbers chapter 18, verse 1 through 7. And this is talking, and this is the, just to give you a quick description, the Levites responsibility for the tabernacle and the priesthood. So the tribe of Levi, they're the priestly tribe, So let's go ahead, hop in. You guys all know about me and my reading, so you know that I'm reading from. I'm reading from the Ethiopian Bible. A lot of people. I've had these discussions about, scripture and, the reason why I read from the Ethiopian Bible and all that is because this is the literal standard version. It is direct 100%. There is no interpretation added. You're getting the word for word by the original writers. It's been translated from Hebrew and Greek directly into English without any added interpretation, which is what you get when you're reading NIV, King James, and so forth and so on. So, I highly recommend, if you guys want the truth without any added interpretation, pretty much, which is people determining what information you should have and how you should view that information. So anyway, let's hop into it. And Yahweh says to Aaron, you and your sons and the house of your father with you bear the iniquity of the sanctuary. And you and your sons with you bear the iniquity of your priesthood, and also your brothers, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, bring near with you, and they are joined to you and serve you, even you and your sons with you before the tent of the testimony. And they kept your charge, and the charge of all the tent. Only they do not come near to the vessels of the holy place and to the altar, and they do not die, either they or you. And they have been joined to you and have kept the charge of the tent of meeting for all the service of the tent. And a stranger does not come near you, and you have kept the charge of the holy place and the charge of the altar. And there is no more wrath against the sons of Israel. And I, behold, have taken your brothers, the Levites, from the midst of the sons of Israel. They are a gift given to you by Yahweh to do the service of the tent of meeting. And you and your sons with you keep your priesthood for everything of the altar and within the veil. And you have served, and I make your priesthood a gift for service. And the stranger who is coming near is put to death. So that is Numbers chapter 18, verse 1 through 7. This just gives a full explanation of the priesthood that has been assigned to the tribe of Levi. They like a lot of people don't understand what is the priesthood, or what does being a priest even mean? It means that these people were in charge of keeping holy. You know what I'm saying? Like keeping the things that are holy. It's that simple. So let's continue on. Biblical speaking point. Number 2 is, this is from Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 8 through 11. And it states, the blessing of the Thummim and Urim upon Levi. And of Levi he said, your perfections and your lights are for your pious one, whom you have tried in Massa. You strive with him at the waters of Meribah, who is saying of his father and his mother, I have not seen him, and he has not discerned his brothers, and he has not known his sons, for they have observed your saying, and they keep your covenant. They teach your judgments to Jacob, and your law to Israel. They put incense in your nose, and whole burnt offering on your altar. Bless, O Yahweh, his strength, and accept the work of his hands. Strike the loins of his withstanders, and of those hating him, that they do not rise. Oh, very interesting. Oh man, seems like I feel like the tribes of Israel have been like they've gone through so much as a whole. Everything is for the tribes of Israel. It's not an easy walk. To be God's people. There's so much. I remember just reading through, like when I was reading through the scriptures, I noticed that there were so many instructions that were given to the Hebrew people. Like straight up the Jewish Hebrew people, when they were, traveling from one place to the next, they had to do things a certain way. There's so many instructions on how they were supposed to do things when they were building a tabernacle. They had to build the tabernacle a specific way. It's just, the Bible is like, it's like a book of rules, man. Straight up, bro. It's like a book of rules, man. Anyway, let's continue on in the reading. So now we're reading from Malachi chapter 2, verse 4 through 7. And this is talking about the covenant of life and peace with Levi. Oh, interesting. So the last one that we're reading from, this is about the blessing of Thummim and Urim upon Levi. And now we're reading about the covenant of life and peace with Levi. Yep. Okay, so let's continue on here. Malachi chapter 2, verse 4 through 7, which states, and you have known that I have sent this charge to you, for my covenant being with Levi, said Yahweh of hosts. My covenant has been of life and of peace with him, and I make them a fear to him, and he fears me. And because of my name, he has been frightened. The law of truth has been in his mouth, and perverseness has not been found in his lips. In peace and in uprightness he walked with me, and he brought back many from iniquity. For the lips of a priest preserve knowledge, and they seek law from his mouth. For he is a messenger of Yahweh of hosts. So, when I was reading through because there's a lot of supporting evidence of the stuff that I'm saying to you guys. A lot of people think that, oh, Pastor Darius, he's just talking. And the fact is that I am talking, but I'm talking about something. And people need to be listening, because the information that is being given to you through the mediums out there, a lot of these mediums, is misinformation, and it's been created to make you see things a specific way, to make you think of things a specific way. Now, I'm here to give you the truth. That's it, the truth. And the truth is, this is not the end times, people. People are talking all around. People are out here yelling and screaming, talking about holy war. Bro, the war over there with Iran, the war with Gaza over in, with Israel and Palestine, bro, those are not the real Jews. Those are not, I repeat, those are not the real Jews. We don't know. Those people are imposters. You hear what I'm saying? The people over in Israel right now are imposters. The real Jews are over in Africa. They're in the Caribbean. You hear what I'm saying? The real Jews are black. The Bible is a story of black people. It doesn't matter. I've explained to a lot of people time and time again that the winners of wars are the ones who determine what the history is. I repeat, I'm going to say this one more time. The winners of wars are the ones who determine what the history is. There was a time, I think it was over in when the Nazis, when they were, when they were like killing off the Jews that are over there in, the ones that are in Israel right now, right? The imposters. When they were killing off those people or trying to eliminate those people, trying to commit genocide and whatnot, right? One of the great things that they did, I think they were burning books. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like one of the big things that they did. They were burning books. Why do you think that they were burning books? To eliminate history. That's what you do. When you want to eliminate a people, what you do is, and you really want to destroy them, bro, you destroy, how do you destroy the history? How do you destroy those people and, any mark of those people? Bro, you burn the books. You burn anything that talks about the history of those people, where they came from. That's what you do. So anyway, yeah, we're getting off topic here. Let's get back to focus, you guys. Now we're looking at we're going to be looking at the historical facts around the things that I'm telling you, because, like I said, a lot of people think that I'm just talking and that the words that I'm saying don't have meaning and they don't have purpose. But I wouldn't be saying them if they weren't for a great purpose and a great reason. So, the reason why I'm saying them is because the truth needs to be told. Abraham was black. Moses was black. Straight up, bro. Whether you like it or not, man, this is the facts, the reality of things. Jesus was black. Whether you like to hear it or not, that's your problem. The truth is the truth. In the Bible, we look at the scripture, and in the scripture it said that Jesus had hair like wool. He said his skin was like, tan, or I'm sorry, not tan, but they say his skin was like, they describe it like a black person. You know what I'm saying? They explained who he was, and, so again, like a lot of the European people who were in charge of spreading, who when they got Christianity and they started spreading it to the world, right? Because, it was the Spanish conquistadors, the Catholic Church, right? Which was heavily established over there in England and Europe and all that, right? When they were spreading, they wanted a Jesus and they wanted something that looked like them. So that's what they created. King James, right? Supposedly they say King James is black. I don't really know about that. I don't know if King James was black or not. But I do know that King James, when they were talking about when they were creating a picture of Jesus, this is also conjecture. I don't have any facts on this, but I heard that they used a picture of like one of his cousins or something like that. I don't know, but the fact is that the real Christianity was in Africa far before, like hundreds of years before it actually made it to Europe. And where was it at? In Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, the royal bloodline, right? The Ethiopian people through Haile Selassie, right? King Haile Selassie, who was I think he was the son of King Solomon, right? And everybody knows about King Solomon was under the line of who? David. You know what I'm saying? Haile Selassie, that's Africa, bro. That's black people. You know what I'm saying? Let's use basic logic and reasoning, people. So let's go ahead and look at the primary source, right? The Lemba, a lost tribe of Israel, or primary sources, are lost tribe of Israel in southern Africa by Magdel Leroux. Magdel Leroux is an emeritus professor in the Department of Biblical and Ancient Studies at the University of South Africa, right? UNISA. She is a scholar of the Old Testament and an expert in the intersection of archaeology and oral history. Her book, The Lemba, a Lost Tribe of Israel in Southern Africa, which was published in 2003, is a seminal work in ethnography, right? While the geneticist focused on DNA, Leroux provided the cultural bridge. She spent years conducting field research and meticulously documenting Lemba oral traditions, religious rituals, and social structures to compare them with ancient Israelite practices. And, when I was reading over the historical documentation, I noticed that the Lemba people, it stated that a Lemba, I did the research and whatnot, right? It stated that the Lemba people, even to this day, have a lot of practices that are exactly the same as described in the Bible of the ancient Jewish people, and the practices, like for example, keeping holy days, staying away from eating pork, stuff like that. It's just crazy that these people in Africa, this tribe, ancient tribe, has. And then but let's continue forth, and then I'll give you more information. So now we're gonna look at a primary journal publication, right? The journal, the American Journal of Human Genetics, right? This is an article. The article title is Y-chromosomes traveling south: the Cohen Modal Haplotype and the origins of the Lemba. The Black Jews of Southern Africa. The publication date was February of 2000, volume 66, issue 2. And the lead authors were Mark G. Thomas, Tudor Parfit, and David B. Goldstein. And these are key scientists, right? While Tudor Parfit provided the historical expertise and spent years living with the Lemba to collect DNA samples, the laboratory work and genetic analysis were led by several prominent scientists. So, these are the other sources, right? We had one source, which was Leroux, right? Magdel Leroux. Now I'm giving you more sources, right? These people have also researched. It said that they tested the genes. These scientists here that I'm reading about, they tested the genes of the Lemba people. And they found a direct connection with the with the ancient Jewish tribes. It's in the blood, the genetics, the DNA. It's there, So let's continue on. Tudor Parfit, often called the British Indiana Jones, he's a professor who specialized in Jewish studies and spent decades tracking the lost tribes of Israel. Mark G. Thomas, a professor of evolutionary genetics at University College London (UCL), who performed the rigorous Y chromosome analysis. Uh, Yep. And then we got David B. Goldstein, a leading geneticist, then at Oxford, later at Duke and Columbia, who was a pioneer in using DNA to trace human migration and Jewish ancestry. Trevor Jenkins, a South African geneticist who had conducted earlier more general DNA research on the Lemba in 1996, which provided the initial evidence of non African paternal DNA before the CMH was specifically identified. You guys, the facts are here, man. I gave you guys the facts. I gave you guys top scientists, geneticists from different parts of the world who have, these are European people, man. They're the information is there, the facts exist, right? There is no holy war that's happening right now. The holy war, a lot of people are reading the Bible and they're reading from the slave Bible is what I call it. The slave Bible, the King James, the NIV, right? The fact is that during slavery, way back when in the United States, the slave masters needed a way to control the slaves. How did they do it? They gave them religion. You know what I'm saying? They needed to stop these people from revolting and killing the white slave masters in their sleep. How did they do it? They gave them a fake religion. You know what I'm saying? They gave them the Bible that they wanted these people to have that tells them to turn the other cheek, even though in that very same Bible, right? In the very same Bible, we read about King David, right? Who was a warrior and how he was a man after God's heart. We read about Moses and the Jews, how they traveled through the desert and they eliminated entire populations of people. You hear what I'm saying? Like straight up, they went to war against people and eliminated entire peoples. And then, there's so many different scriptures that talk about how the Jews were, had to defend themselves and how it was important for them to do this, and then, we get this New Testament Jesus, that the false Jesus that was created by the Europeans, right, to keep the enslaved people from, again, revolting against the slave masters because they highly outnumbered the slave masters at a certain point, and they were afraid. They were afraid. Think about it. You're oppressing these people. You're beating them. They did all types of horrific stuff, butt breaking. That's what they called it, where they would rape, some of the slave masters would rape men in front of their family, or they would rape the wife in front of the husband and the children, make them watch horrific things. The white slave masters, this is what they did. And again, they had to find a way to stop the people from revolting, because there were slaves that revolted and killed the white slave masters in their sleep. While they were sleeping, went in there, slaughtered them like pigs, cut their throats. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, bro. Because, you can only do so much wrong, and then you take a person to the brink of insanity. Think about it. They were beating the people with whips, tearing into them, cutting their flesh, hanging people, all types of cruelty. And they did this to the black people. So they had to find some way. And what is the best way? It's psychology in a way. It's psychology. I think there was actually a guy, I think it was the Lynch guy, who created the idea of the best way of, pretty much like the psychologically breaking the slave away from, their ability to revolt. Like if you go so far into a person's mind, you can literally take away their desire or ability to defend themselves. And so now we have this slave religion that has been spread around the world. You go look in Africa right now, over there, the Muslim people over there slaughtering on a monthly basis. They're over there, they're slaughtering the Christians over in Nigeria. And the Christian Nigerian people, they got that slave mentality Bible, that they've been reading from King James, that taught them turn the other cheek, love your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Love your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Don't defend yourself if somebody come and slaughters your children and your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the world, bro? Are you out of your mind, bro? If somebody slaughtered my family, bro, it's a wrap, bro. I ain't no turning the other cheek, bro. You finna get it. You finna get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking you and yours out. You know what I'm saying? You and yours. So, man, dang, bro, get off that slavery mentality, you guys. Wake up. Wake up. The truth is out there. Get away from that slave Bible that they've been preaching to you, telling you, like, bro, Christians are supposed to be warriors, man. We need to defend our faith. If we don't get out here and start defending, man, the Muslim people are here to annihilate the Christians, man. And anybody who don't believe in their way, bro, they're in every country, right? They have a holy war. If you want to talk about a holy war, that's the holy war. You know what I'm saying? The Muslim people are here. They are not here to have peace. They don't want peace with you if you're atheist, if you're Buddhist, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, bro, they got jihad. They got their Mahdi, that they're believing for, who's going to come and lead them against, against taking over the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, bro, you want to talk about some holy war and things to worry about? That's something to worry about. I personally, if I had a neighbor, a Muslim neighbor, I would not be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would not be comfortable, because I know that they have jihad. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody who could just walk into a crowd of people and blow themselves up. You know what I mean? Like, and they say, oh, this is only the radicalists, but it seems like their radicalists are all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing this in the name of Allah. Allah Akbar is their cry. That's their war cry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they're believing for virgins and all that stuff they commit. Oh, heck no, bro. Heck no, bro. You know what I'm saying? We need to put a stop to this immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, you guys, your boy Pastor Darius. Again, this is not a channel of hatred. This is not a message of hatred. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that human beings have the right to live and to live peaceably and in peace. So anybody who infringes on that peace, I believe you have a right to defend it. Anyway, your boy Pastor Darius, God bless. Everybody, I appreciate you guys watching this. Hope you guys find some positivity out of this message. This is another episode of Pastor Darius. Don't forget to go like and subscribe to our channel. If you guys want to make a donation, we have a GoFundMe. Please go to our GoFundMe, which you'll find the link in our description, and make a donation a day. Let's help some children do great things. We are a 501c3 registered nonprofit, which is Gorilla Nature Inc. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.